Welcome back to the Stoop Football fans. It's your boy Lolo. I am in the basement on another Friday night for I will not be in the basement next Friday night. Next Friday night, I don't know if you know this, but I will be in London next Friday night. So hopefully I will be awake and doing the show from somewhere in London. So if you're there, come find me. Let's do the show together. But as for now, it is happy hour. I am very excited to get the show kicked off. And unfortunately, I don't have director John in the background to cheers with me. So I'm just going to crack this one. There you go. Cheers, cheers to all y'all. Happy Friday. All right. Big up to Anders and Scooby D2 who have already been in the comments section. Don't forget, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and get in the comments section. If we are not talking about something that you want to be talking about, you can shift us along with some clever comments in there. So, Max Tierney, good to see you in there. He says, it's been a while, lads. It has. It has. If I'm not mistaken, Max Tierney, are you? We'll get into it, but I remember I'm forgetting exactly which one you are, Max Tierney. So remind me. I think you were like a 16-year-old when you started watching the show. So, um, if I'm not mistaken, but I may be wrong. And Rob Colton, yeah, love the nails. Yeah, thank you very much. We did have a tea party during the international break, and a bunch of little girls over at my house painting my nails and everybody else's nails. So, yeah, I'm glad you like them. So let's get started. We have no Premier League action last week. It was all international break, all a whole bunch of I don't know. I don't know how much you guys follow that. I really take it as a chance to step away for a week, a weekend, and just think about something else for a minute. But now I'm starting to freak out. I haven't thought enough about what's coming up. And we have a killer week of Premier League action. Week 5, match day 5. We've got lots of fun stuff to watch, especially Stoop related, because Mark's team, the Wolves, Wolverhampton Wanderers, are at home at the Molyneux, and they have Liverpool in town. So Liverpool Chris, who is at home doing his dad thing and doesn't quite have the mental capacity to deal with us clowns on a Friday night, but maybe he'll show up. We'll see. But Wolves Liverpool, we'll see if Liverpool's a real deal. That's the one that kicks us off in the morning. A big one that I'm looking forward to is West Ham Man City. That's one of our 10 a.m. matches. West Ham have done some crazy stuff in this first 4 matches. Let's see who they really are. Let's see, are Chelsea just that bad that West Ham beating them doesn't really matter? I don't know. And so I still feel Man City will win that, but it's at London Stadium. West Ham are on a roll. Man City are back from a break. Basically, every single person on their team went away for international duty. Not many West Hammers. So I don't know. I'm thinking something could happen there. And then we got Manchester United Brighton, which we got to see is what is going on with Manchester United, and can those players break away from that mentally and just go out and handle their business against Brighton. But which Brighton team will show up? Because we've seen Brighton do amazing things, and then we've seen them get smoked. So uh, I'm very excited about that one. Newcastle Brentford is going to be another good one because Brentford is actually playing better than Newcastle lately in these first few matches. But we all know Newcastle's going to turn it around at some point. A big win against Brentford at home could be the right way to get back on track there. And then Bournemouth going to destroy Chelsea, hopefully, and slow them down because Chelsea are kind of starting to put things together. But I don't know. Everton, Arsenal. Arsenal seems to have a problem at Goodison Park. So I don't know. This one, I always hate this match. No matter how good we are, how bad they are, they have people protesting. The fans are trying to turn their backs during the match, and then we somehow find a way to lose. So I'm hoping that Arsenal go and absolutely dominate that one. But we will see about that. Max Tierney, yeah, that is me. Good, good, good. Chels are fucking wank. Yes, they are. Scooby D2, Bremmer's Ghost, very good to see you. Yes, and I still have a slight hint of the air conditioner cold hanging on. Most of it is gone. I have this stupid little cough that is making it very awkward at work because nowadays, I don't know if you guys work with people outside of the home, but nowadays, if you even cough, everyone in the room turns around and stares at you like you're about to give the entire room COVID. And I was like, "Oh yeah, like that COVID cough that everybody had. That's not a thing." Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling for a little bit and get into some actual football talk with my main guest today, filling in for Spawny Mark, who is in Mexico. He had to get away to Mexico this week for a little fun in the sun, I guess. But everybody give it up for Mr. Gary.
Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to the
Gary.
show. Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers, cheers.
Hello, everybody in the chat. As you said, you named everybody
You
up.
got
Well,
there.
welcome everybody to the show. So, yeah,
I
let's
like that
get to
koozie
it.
you got there. You want to
Yeah.
show us that?
So it's Arsenal, America.
Arsenal America. There you go.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
So I give my money to the cause, as they say.
Yeah, man. So the big question for me, Gary, is I'm going to London next week, and I'm going to be at the North London Derby, and I'm trying to get tickets to Arsenal PSV Champions League. The big question is, why are you not coming with me this year?
Oh man, I have a lot of stuff going on. Actually, I I couldn't have come if I wanted to. My wife is away. She's away this weekend, and she's away next weekend. She's seeing a couple of the girls. So, um, yeah. So even if I wanted to, I couldn't have. So I knew things were going to be a little bit busy. Plus, I have a big trip. I'm going to go to. I'm actually going to Barbados in October. So
All
so I'd
right.
have to. So yeah,
All right.
yeah.
I understand. I
So
understand.
there's some part business and part pleasure there. So
I just want to
it'll be
hear
fun.
that you're jealous, Gary. That's it.
I
That's all I want
am
to hear.
definitely jealous because I enjoyed that game, and I would like to see another one and go back and enjoy London and England and the drinking and the eating and everything that goes along with that and football. So the fact that you might even get a chance to see a second game would be cool if it works out.
Yeah, yeah. Well, if I do get the Arsenal PSV ticket, it will be the third that I'm going to see this week because my boss, who's a West Ham fan, big shout out to Ricky, got us tickets to the West Ham versus some Serbian club in the Europa League on Thursday night. So
Uh,
I'm going to London to London Stadium.
oh
So
wow, cool.
that should be fun and a night game.
Oh nice,
Yeah,
nice,
I've
nice.
never been to a night game in London.
That'd be
I've only
cool.
been to 2 games.
You have to wear your neutrals, huh?
Yeah, I have to wear my neutrals, but my daughter's a West Ham fan, so I can root for them in the Europa League. It means nothing to us, Gary. So, speaking of us, Gary, we finally get the chance to talk about Arsenal. Director John's not here, so he's not going to cut us off, and Mark's not here to roll his eyes at us and tell us why we're wrong. So let's talk Arsenal before we piss off everybody in the comment section and they tell us to talk about something else. So, Gary, how do you feel about these first 4 matches? Is it too much tinkering? Is it we're fucked? Is it we're all good? Is it give up on Kai Havertz? Is it there's lots of is it's here.
There's
So
a
pick
lot. There's
one.
definitely a lot going on. I always stress rotation, 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 and I think that's what's been the Achilles heel for Arsenal has been we don't rotate enough. So when we do rotate, we're not prepared. So Tedder said, I'm gonna take this a little bit different. I'm gonna rotate game one. Game one,
Yeah.
I'm rotating. Margules, you're sitting, and he sat for 3 games, and you know, we we got lucky that happy accident. Zinchenko's out, and Timber gets to play, and Tomiyasu gets to play, and I guess Havertz gets. I think he wants to get Havertz part of a rotation, but I think he's killing the players that are already should be part of that rotation, and Trossard, and looks like even Fabio Vieira, and looks like he's asking for minutes too now. So yeah, I think Arteta is he's not necessarily starting slow, but he's making sure he can go 38 games. I think that's what
Yeah.
he's trying to do, and it could work. It could work. Timber kind of blew that plan out of the water a little bit, but I think we
Yeah.
still have enough to get us to January, and then we can see what we do. But I think this is a long-term plan, right? We always talk about let's not just get to the last part of the season and blow up, and we're winning games, and we're not even anywhere near where we should be. So I'll take that. If we had our starting 11 from last season and we played the games and we only had 10 points, I'd be disappointed. But we're not that team. We're not playing that way. So little things are happening, but we're still able to win and keep and not lose. So I think the offense will click in, and then we will just run away with these games. But so yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a slow. It's a be patient, and it's a marathon. All right, it's not a sprint.
Well, it's good to hear that coming from an Arsenal fan as like yourself, because a lot of this is, I mean, Arsenal fans on Twitter and everywhere is they're just, I mean, just like any fan, I would say a lot of fans of just about any team. We all think that we know everything. We know everything that's going on, and we know if this happens, that means this, and if this happens, that means that. As soon as Megalegs does not get the start on game one, it became he's leaving, he's going to Saudi Arabia, he's disgruntled, he's not training, he's injured. Him and Arteta's pissing off another player. Look at this. When honestly, behind the scenes, it's probably 100% communicated to him, Gabby, I need you throughout the season. Right now, I'm gonna try some shit, and we're gonna work on some shit. Like, I'm sure that plan is being told to a player like Gabriel, who is so key to our team. So just the impulsive reactions of, oh, Arteta doesn't know what he's doing, he doesn't know this. So it's good to hear you say, listen, maybe the beginning of the year is a better time to tinker when you have most people fit and when you have games that you should win either way. You know, being on 3 wins and a draw after 4, it's not a bad start at all, especially if one of our rivals is in that. We played Man United. So it's good to see. For me, I would rather us slip up in the beginning of the season and have time to pivot rather than start slipping up and have no clue. You remember the run where we lost it all last season. It just seemed like the players had no clue. Arteta had nothing more to offer during those matches to change it up. And I feel like right now, it's starting to get it's starting to get I don't know, I'm starting to feel like the bigger club that we are, where it's like, no, we can put out not our best 11 every week. Look at City every single year. They start off slow except for this year. So I'm hoping this is the switch. They're going to start off really well and then fall off. But
Yeah.
glad to hear you saying that, man. I
Well, yeah,
actually agree with you.
after the first week, I can't say I was. I think I said he's got some plan, and more every week you kind of look at it and you're like, wait a second. We always talk about what City does, and I always feel like City to some degree will rotate their players in and out of the lineup. A lot of times it's always been an injury here or there. I think it's just a time to rest the players and rotate them. But also, I think Arteta is always a step behind Pep, right?
Yeah.
So if Pep did it one year, he's going to do it the next. I think at some point he's going to have to do his own thing and not depend on what Pep's done in terms of a back four of center backs and stuff like that. So yeah, no, I something didn't make any sense. I get the rotation. I always wanted it, but I just didn't expect it in game one.
Yeah.
Um, I didn't expect it in game one, but it will make us better long term. And if I think the Havertz experiment, I don't like the way he's got him he's introduced him into the squad. Because I think it's a case of if Arteta is learning anything from Pep, Grealish and Foden have shown, look, they don't have to be an everyday player. They need to be ready when they come in. And sometimes you can't do that game 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes you might need to sit and come in off the bench and see how it feels to play like Fabio Vieira. Like if Havertz comes in like a Fabio Vieira and has a similar, response, to he'll understand how it is to play for Arsenal. So I kind of felt
Yeah.
like that's the way that would have been the best way to get him in, because I don't. It's not like Timber and it's not like Rice in terms of how they were introduced to the squad, and you could just see immediately, all right, it's going to work. Havertz, to me, didn't seem like that. He did score in a preseason, but not like Trossard did. So for me,
Yeah.
totally different situation there. Whereas Timber and Rice seem to be fine. Yeah, and there's a
Yeah.
difference between how they're perceived in Arsenal than he and Havertz. And I think Havertz I believe he has an easier job because we weren't expecting his defense to be the plus, right? We're expecting him to be able to be scoring at will and his defense to be suspect. Now we're talking about his defense is good, his offense is suspect.
Yeah.
Seems kind of like, I'm hoping that works out for him long term, but I would rather him be scoring at will and work on his defense. You know what I mean? Because at least we have a 1, 2, 3 goal lead, and then maybe he'll slip up, as opposed to we're struggling to score
Well,
and we
here
never get that
well,
goal.
let me ask you, are we learning from the Pepe situation? Because, I mean, for me, I'm trying to understand why Arteta is starting him and playing him almost 90 every single match in a different position. Clearly, it's affecting everything we have going on up front. Martinelli hasn't been able to be as good because I feel like it's overwhelmed on that side. Yet Havertz isn't, from what I can see watching on television, I don't know what Havertz is actually doing. I just know that there's been dips in form from Martinelli, but that I don't see it as much his fault as opposed to every time he gets the ball, it's already so crowded because there's an extra man there, um, who's just kind of wandering. But what I'm thinking is a player like Kai Havertz, who's mentally broken, yet still goes for a huge fee. If he were to sit on the bench and, you know, maybe come on for 10 minutes every match, he would have more pressure than ever to score, more pressure than ever. Every time he came on, if he didn't score a goal, chances are he's not gonna come on the next game. Like, he's gonna have that in his mind, and it might break him more, as opposed to, "Listen, we have the team, we have the squad, we have the ability to get this done, even if Havertz doesn't have a great game."
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. That all
I'm
depends on
trying to make
how.
sense of it. I
That's
don't
all.
know.
That all would make sense if that's the way you think Arteta, how he manages his players. That they would be concerned that, yes, I'm not starting day one, and I'm only coming in 10 minutes here and there, and I'm not scoring. But I think that's a communication. That's only communication. Like if you came into the squad, for me, should have the first conversation should have been like, we're gonna get you into this squad so you can be productive,
Earn your spot.
right? Well, no, yeah, because we know what your skills are. That's why we spent all this money on you. But that's not the reason why we brought you here. Is because of the money. We brought you here because of your skills. So you need to understand how Arsenal works, and I don't think you can just understand that just coming off the street. Like I said, in the same breath, Timber and Rice seem to pick it up quickly, and I believe they're in even a more important role for us, right?
Yeah.
So so that's what makes it kind of like, you got these players in more important positions for us coming in and seem to acclimate to the team immediately. If all he did was score goals, I don't think he would care if his defense lacked, right? And I
Yeah,
think
we
that's
don't
and I
have him there for
exact
defense.
yeah. So for me, I think it's a communication thing. Arteta can say to his players, a player when he brings them in, just because you're 65 doesn't mean I have to start you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if we're gonna keep saying that, Pep is the best manager, and Pep can bench Grealish, and Pep can bench Foden, then Pep,
Calvin
then
Phillips.
then
Yeah.
then yeah, Calvin Phillips gets benched also, but like then I think Havertz can come off the bench. You're not bigger than the squad, right? And that's for me. That works also for Saka. He can come off the bench. He doesn't have
Yeah.
to start every game. So I think that has to be it's a communication, and it has to be a thing that works long term for the team. If Saka plays all 38 games, we're in trouble because we're not going to get the same Saka that we want. But if
Yeah.
Saka plays 30 games and comes off the bench for like 3 to 5 of them, I think we're going to get a better Saka, and we'll be happier for it. So no, I think it's all communication when it comes down to that with the player and how you want to introduce them into the squad. Sometimes it clicks and sometimes it doesn't. It takes time. None of these guys probably don't even want to hear us. I think the only person enjoying this is probably Biggs Gunner, right? And
Yeah, there
maybe
you go.
Sam.
BX. BX and Sam and Stan the
Oh, look at
man.
this! So,
He's
so, now, so
enjoying
now,
it
so
there.
not only did you just double down, you just triple down. Hello,
When the
Stan.
Gary,
director John's away, the Gunners will play. All right,
Oh,
here
Gary,
we
you didn't
go.
think I
gosh.
was going to let you have this all to yourself, did you, Gary?
You know what? Yeah, now I'm pissed because you're on here. So you know what that means. Get your gloves up because I love to fight you on screen. So whatever you say, I'm going the opposite way, even if it makes no sense at all.
Gary, you're the greatest.
Yeah, you're right about that. Damn it.
All right, lads.
Hello.
What's going on, Stan? Good to see you.
Yeah, it's been one of those days where it's like from the moment I got up out of bed, it's just been shit all day until now.
Oh, well, good. I hope we can change that around for you there. Well, were you following some of that conversation about Arsenal there?
Yeah, I was having a little bit of a listen while I was just finishing my chicken sandwich, and a point I wanted to speak on was what you were talking about, Gabriel Martinelli. And Gary's heard this before from myself on Fan Circle, but I don't think it's a case that he does look different to how he did look last season. But I think that there is a good reason for that, and he's not been playing. He's got none of his partnerships are there anymore. The
Yeah.
guy that's behind him, Zinchenko's been changed around. It's been Zinchenko. Then he's had to sort of like get used to Kivior. Then Tomiyasu been popped in there. And then towards the end of pre-season, he was having to work and get to understand Timber. Directly to
Yeah.
his right, the guy that was there, Xhaka, he's not there anymore. So he's lost that
Yeah.
partnership on the pitch. And then the guy ahead of him, where Gabriel is, who's been out for some time, who he usually changes positions with, he's not been there. And then to cap all of that, at the base of the midfield where we've got Declan Rice is still trying to understand where players will be when he releases the ball, from collecting it off the offense. So I think it's given the appearance that Martinelli is a little bit under par when I think he's trying to re-establish partnerships. The same thing I think has also happened on the right-hand side, because where we started the season off with Thomas Partey, what he wasn't able to do was to be a third man in the way that Ben White was, by overlapping and then having an outlet for Saka and Odegaard, and that sometimes creating an overload at that side. Now when we had Thomas Partey at a right back, that wasn't happening, and there were times that I thought that Odegaard and Saka were kind of getting blocked out because they didn't have that extra man there to help them on an overload sort of situation.
Yeah.
So that's my theory of
absolutely.
why both of our players on the wings have looked different to how they did last season, because all of the
Absolutely.
relationships all over the pitch have been changed around, and we're going through a bit of a teething spell at the beginning of the season while they re-establish those relationships.
Yeah, but like we were saying earlier, I'm happier that we're doing it now. I would hate
Yeah.
to be forced into a tinkering situation in December, in January, in March, So, guys, we've got a few more characters backstage that I'm going to bring on here. So the Arsenal talk is going to be quelled for a minute. but feel free to bring it up as much as you want. Remember, I'm the director tonight, so. But this guy is always on the show. He's a big fan of the show and a big fella. He's like 6'7". Let's give it up, everybody, for Ben Ireland. What's going on, my man? I will see you next week.
Evening, everybody. It won't be Tuesday, probably Thursday, unfortunately, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
Sorry, threw me there. Good evening. How is everybody on the trip?
How's Tricks, Ben?
Pissed him off. He's gone.
Good. Stan, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good. I didn't see you on Wednesday. I ain't seen you for about a week or so.
I've been doing nights, so yeah.
Yes, need your beauty sleep, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Well, apologies for the rushed intro, Ben, but we've got another guest here, but he's only got about 30 minutes to chit chat with us. So let's go ahead and bring him on. And his team was in the title of the stream. So let's see if West Ham can beat Manchester City. It's Italy Jet, everybody. Both of his teams winning.
What's up? How's everyone doing tonight?
Good, man.
It's been a minute.
It's been a while,
Jets
man.
left it late, didn't they, mate? Jets left it late. Oof.
Hey, you know what? I'm okay with that. Everything's good. I'm still hyped, so it's all good.
Why didn't they take the penalty?
Don't know, don't care. We won, so.
Have you guys seen that video that's going around of that bar?
Green Bay, right? The Green Bay bar.
That was in Green Bay.
Yeah.
Free drinks.
Yes.
If the Jets lose.
Yes.
So people were in there with tabs like crazy.
Yes.
Expecting the Jets to lose. They're all wearing Aaron Rodgers jerseys and they're all hating on the Jets. You see them, the last minute winner, and they all just like
they didn't
silent in the bar.
They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know what to do. Because I bet you a lot of that money on the game too. So
yeah. And then you're sitting there, you've probably had like 15 drinks over the 5-hour period that a NFL game goes.
Right.
Jesus. Well,
crazy.
Let's talk about your team. And Ben mentioned Thursday night. Unfortunately, Ben, I just got tickets to go see West Ham.
Awesome. I think we're gonna make it Wednesday.
All right, we'll make it Wednesday.
All right, we'll come up with something. Don't worry, we'll talk after.
All right. So I will be going to London Stadium next Thursday. Are you jealous? Tell me you're jealous.
I have been jealous. Even in the chat, I'm super jealous. It's going to be a great atmosphere. Europa, it's going to be great, man.
Would you do me a favor at the London Stadium? Would you get me the seat? Because my tax money pays for that seat. So I'd like
to. Just let me know. I'll check the bottom and I'll find the one that has your name on it. And
because West Ham are dossers and can't afford their own ground.
All right, you can take him out anytime. Anytime.
No, see, this is where
he's been saying he's been missing me for a while, and all of a sudden he's doing this.
Have you ever been?
I love you, mate.
Have any of you guys ever been to London Stadium?
No, I've been past it. I've not been in it.
No.
It's not been around that long.
But it was made for the Olympics, so I've heard that you're not right on top of the pitch. You're kind of far away.
Yeah. It's kind of like
extended the stands a bit like Man City's. Man City's was the same. It was circular, so they extended it and sort of ovaled it a bit.
It's like you're going to a baseball game. It's like going to a baseball game.
Is there a running track around the outside? Is there a running track?
I think they got rid of it, didn't they?
Yeah, those tickets are cheap because you just got to keep running for the whole match. But that's why they're so cheap.
Yeah, I think they got rid of the track and then they put extended standing along the bottom
and the red around kind of like a carpet.
Yeah, I've had a red around.
You are a little distance away from pitch.
Yeah,
you can tell that just from match day.
But like when it scores, like it erupts, like if everything's shaking like an earthquake, it feels. I've heard it feels really good. I don't know.
Well, West Ham could erupt any stadium. They've got good fans.
Yeah, travel well.
Local fans.
They have. Back it up.
Yeah. They have got good fans.
I don't understand Ben today, Italy Jet.
Why don't you understand banter? What's wrong?
Because he's hating on you, and then he's
and then he
telling you
loves
how
you
your
at the same
fans are
time.
awesome.
Hey,
I don't blame the fans
London,
for
West
the little
Ham
dodgy dealing they did with the government. I don't blame the fans for that. That was
Oh man.
Yeah. Well,
Tottenham were due to get it. Tottenham were going to actually pay for the ground, but then West Ham said, no, we'll take it for free and let the people pay for it. And the government went, yeah, that's a good idea.
Jesus, is Trump the owner of West Ham? Like that sounds like some brilliant negotiating.
Not the last time I checked. I don't know.
So
Saudi may be buying it soon, maybe.
My daughter is a West Ham fan, by the way, if you didn't know this. I let her choose her own team, watching matches with me since she was born.
Bubbles.
They were actually playing Arsenal when she chose.
Yeah.
There's it could possibly be they were playing Arsenal, because then it would have been on the TV, on the big TV. But yeah, she chose West Ham, and she came up to me the other day, and she's like 6. She's about to be 6. And she walked up to me and said, "Papi, why did West Ham sell Declan Rice to Arsenal?" And I was like, "What? How do you know who Declan Rice is?" Like, she doesn't actually watch and I was like, "Well, because," and then she just skips off. I was like, "You are like an internet troll in real life." Like, but so I asked her, I was like, "Look, I'm going to the stadium. Do you want me to get you a jersey from there? You want me to get you something, a scarf?" And she goes, "Oh, what do you think she asked for?" The bubbles.
That's why I said bubbles. Like, she asked for probably the cannon that comes out of bubbles.
Yeah. No, go catch one of the bubbles and save it in your bag. 6 more days until you come
freeze
home.
it up or something like
anyway, West Ham, please, can you beat Manchester City this week?
I don't think it's like, I mean, obviously Manchester City have been very good for a long time, but I mean, they're both off to a great start, and I think this is going to be a tight game. I think all the new signings are really coming into their own. I can't wait to see more Kudus in there. He had a great international break. And also it seems like Ward-Prowse's injury is not that bad since he was practicing. So I like seeing all that. I love the formation that we have. I know he changed it up a little bit because Alvarez is now that CDM now, like as natural position, which I like. And I think the difference is it's just attack. It's just not only attack, but I think Moyes is very good at defending, especially at the end of the game, the way he spreads that defense back. And also Areola. I'm happy we're giving Areola more of a shot. Now he's the number 1 now. Do I think West Ham are going to lose this game? I think by 1 goal, or it's going to be a tie. I think it's going to be tighter than people think. That's just me, though.
Yeah. I was discussing this with my buddy who's a West Ham fan yesterday, and I said, my fear is that you guys are going to play a very, very, very good game, and you're going to lose 1-0. And none of it's going to matter. Depends. It matters for fuck all, because City get the 3 points. You lose. Nobody talks about it again. But you guys are going to play so well and lose 1-0. It's going to be so annoying.
Yeah, I think
it's
City.
But it's not only that
to beat them.
Well, it's not only that we play against the big clubs really good. I mean, we did that last year. And it's the teams that are at the bottom of the table that we just can't get across. We always play down their level, and then something bad happens at the end. But I think
not necessarily. You did really well against Chelsea, and they're way bottom table.
But also, I still don't like the way Moyes handles
Gunners.
the subs.
That wasn't funny, guys. Come on, that's just the truth now about Chelsea. We don't even laugh.
Hey, yeah.
We don't even laugh anymore.
Business as usual, isn't it?
Business as usual.
They're like, oh, they're terrible.
But I have to say about David Moyes, I think he's really turned it around. At the beginning of the season on Bergkamp Wonderland, Danny had us all on one at a time asking us questions about the season, and one of the questions was, which manager in the Premier League do you think would be one of the first to get sacked from his job? And at that particular time, I went for David Moyes. Because at the end of the last season,
I was calling for it.
A lot of fans seem to be, but he seems to really have turned it around. I mean, what's your opinion of him now?
He did this before, and you went back to being shit again. if you remember through the lockdown season. The first where the lockdown was the end of the seasons, you know, you was shit, and then you went to lockdown and you miraculously survived, and then you got all right again. Yeah, and last season you were shit, but you won a cup.
Yeah, and then we won a cup. I mean, that beautiful pass by Paqueta and then Bowen. Now he's the hero, and now he's off to a good start. I mean, if we can get that Jared Bowen back 2 years ago and him continue to score goals and just speed off that right side, put in Kudos on that left side, man, it's going to be nice. I really hope. What's up?
Who does Kudos slot in for?
So I'm thinking, and knowing David Moyes, he's probably going to start Ben Rama, right? On that left side.
Because Ben Rama's, that's what I was afraid of, because Ben Rama's looking good as well. I feel like last season you guys all took a break, but Ben Rama the season before was very good.
Yeah.
Bowen was very good. So do you just take Ben Rama straight out?
I really do think that they're going to ride with him one more game, and then I think Kudos is going to come in there. Because you can't take Jared Bowen out right now, or Paqueta, or even Ward-Prowse. But they're going to have to make some big decisions because now we have a stacked midfield. So he's going to have to make a number of decisions. And plus, every time when he, like at the end of the game, like I've been saying, the sub situation, he does it like at 80th and 90th minute all the time. You never see a sub on between the 60th and 70th minute. But I think if we're
no, but you've got an extra 10 minutes now to account for, right? Yeah. Everything's going to 100 minutes.
So you hope you have, and then you find out you haven't.
Yeah, no, I was just saying this is a good.
Is that as well?
It's a good problem to have.
It's a good problem to have, right?
Because I think we wanted Kudos at Arsenal, and
you did.
People were like, where's he gonna play? And it's like, it doesn't matter. We need the depth anyway. So we're gonna rotate. If you rotate your players, you'll be fine. They'll be always fresh and ready to go. And that's just how it works. You know, the big clubs, I believe, do that. So it's a good problem to have. You are playing international. You're playing European. What?
We're playing European ball too.
You're taking me back to Arsenal, aren't you?
I mean, he's comparing. He's just comparing.
Yeah, no, it's a player I wanted.
He's comparing.
I wanted him. I wanted that.
You guys
player.
wanted him hardcore. Like you guys
I
really.
I was like, we had, when we lost Timber, I'm like, well, if they're not going to go defense, go get me Kudos, because I just think it's good. He's a good player to have it in the fact he scored a hat trick. Pretty much right before the window closes.
It was either in Europa or Conference League. I'm pretty sure it was Europa though. It was in the Europa like qualifiers or something like that.
So it was like that was like a sign, right? Come on, somebody come get me, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he's from Ghana, so he plays with Thomas Partey already.
He scored. Kept doing this every time he scored. So just like the backwards that. It's a sign.
No, No, I think it's good to have a player like him there.
Especially
he's going to push everybody. I mean, everybody's wondering how James Ward-Prowse is going to work, and it seems to be working. So there you go.
Great. The set pieces.
Yeah, they spent well. They did. They spent that money well.
At
the end, though.
No, but you know what? It's the end of the window, so you can't say like, okay, we didn't spend it until the end, but you spent it pretty well. You picked up some good players, and how many times you see a team sell a player for $100 million and then turn around and go, I think we did good. We brought in starters, right? Not too many teams bring in starters.
When they've got $100 million in the bank, it's better off in their bank as long as it can be in their bank, because you're getting $100 million interest on that. So you're only going to spend it at the last minute. That's why they do this. It's financial.
I do have a question for you guys. We're rumored to bring back Lingard. He's been training with us and everything. What do you guys think of that? I'll start with Lolo. What do you think of having Lingard coming back to West Ham?
Well, supposedly y'all are doing the whole like mistress thing right now. You got him staying at a hotel right outside the training ground. You're like, you don't get him
taking our time with it. We're taking our time with
his own car, but you're like paying for his Ubers.
Portman in negligee.
Yeah, you bought him. You didn't get him a West Ham kit, but you bought him a nice top.
Is it really creeping? Is it really creeping or not? Is it? It's not creeping.
They're creeping. Well, no, they're creeping because it's like, wait, we can't sign him. Transfer window's closed, but does he play for anybody?
No, he's a free agent.
He's a free agent.
Exactly.
But there's
exactly.
like a
They're
timetable. There's a
West Ham's
timetable
like,
to
I
get a
don't
deal
know what
done
we're
because he's a
doing.
free agent. Yeah.
No, I kind of feel like
Forest.
one of these days, like in the next couple of weeks, Moyes is going to be there 89th minute, and he's going to go to look at his bench, and he's going to point down the line, and then point up in the crowd and go, "You fella, come down here. You look like you could play." And it's going to be Jesse Lingard sitting in the front row. "All right, boss." And he comes off.
He'd be like,
and
"Who,
does
me?
his- who, me? Couldn't be.
I thought this was going ball boy route. They're going to put the ball.
Can I answer this how it should be answered?
Oh boy.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. Go ahead.
You should say, "Fuck off, you Judas bastard. You had your chance last season. Go train somewhere else. Stop wasting our time. You shit."
Damn.
I don't agree with that.
Half of the fan base does feel like that for West Ham, though. So you're not
You've
wrong.
moved on from him, in my opinion. You've got better
Why
players
is he a
than him.
Judas? Why?
Because he had the chance to sign for him, and he went and took the big payday.
No, United took him back. But he had
the chance to do the deal.
He
West
had a
Ham
chance
wanted
to
him.
come
He
back
said
to
no.
West Ham. No, exactly. And then he took the bigger money with Forest.
Took the money with
and he
Forest.
didn't play much.
And the 1 year deal.
Well, because he was terrible. He started the first like 3 or 4 matches. I had him in my fantasy team. And he was fucking god awful. Well, he just didn't.
Thank you, Jimmy.
He didn't really play. He was on the bench the whole time.
To answer your question, Gino, yes, I would absolutely take Jesse Lingard back. And you do it the right way where you say, all right, work your way back into the team. Right now, we're doing well. But you know what? We're playing in 4 competitions right now.
Agreed. Yeah.
So
yeah.
And we won a European trophy last season, so we hope to do the same again this season. We're gonna need depth. Paqueta's doing great right now.
Mm-hmm.
Sprained ankle or a busted face from somebody punching his cocky ass, and he's out for a few weeks. James Ward-Prowse, he's never injured, but you go to a new team. As Arsenal fans know, people who are never injured when they come to a new team like ours tend to get injured.
He's a money merchant. I don't think he's the right person for the club. He's not there because he wants to play football. He's there because he wants a paycheck. He happily sat on the bench last season and just claimed the money, which is robbing a living.
I don't know if he was happy about it, though.
Yeah, but football players,
you don't know he
they
was
don't
happy
have the
about
same allegiance, do they? As we do
so
as fans,
if he's not happy about it, how come, if he's that good a player, how come he couldn't get in a Forest team that was shit? That were all outright shit. Fair enough, they finished higher than Leeds, but they were shit.
Wasn't he injured a little bit too, or am I wrong about that? I thought he was injured a little bit.
They signed, instead of sticking with him though, they signed another 20 players, to try and counteract it. It worked for him, fair enough. But
I understand.
He's not the player that you had on loan. He's not the same player in my opinion. He's an extra body, for a tough long season ahead. But look, I wouldn't have him personally.
Well, you bring up a good point, because maybe he got humbled when he was on loan. Then thought got too big headed for it, and now is humbled once again.
Right.
So he's going to come out maybe a little bit of fire. Maybe you can hit lightning in a bottle a second time and get, because they don't need him, right? They don't need him. So he knows he has to know that going in.
As much as I don't really,
I'll look it up, Ben.
As much as I dislike Lingard, I thought that when he was at West Ham, it seemed to be a good fit. Sometimes
he fit the system really well. He fit the system.
The manager seemed to be able to handle him well. But as I say, a lot of footballers, they don't have.
He's going to turn 31 December. 31 December.
To him, it's just a job, and this job at Forest was going to pay more.
Yeah.
I know it sounds shit.
I mean, it really shocked me though. No, because his career was on an upward trajectory. If he'd have gone to West Ham, it shocked me.
I agree, and the system was made for him there, and he kind of saved us a little bit. He did,
and it was made for him. But
I
also,
think the big
don't know how much
issue
influence his agent might have over his decisions as well. Encouraging him to do this and do that.
But we don't know the outs, do we? We get told snippets.
But I think he should go back, because this is a lifeline for him, and he needs to get his career going again. And David Moyes seems to really be keen on him. And as we just said, it was a good fit before.
Yeah,
it was a good fit. But I get it from the fans' point of view that no one likes to be snubbed, right? No one likes to be snubbed. It's like Arsenal fans, none of them want anything to do with Vlahovic, a lot of them, just because he went to that other team and didn't take our phone calls. No one likes to be snubbed.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few snub leads this summer.
Yeah.
You know, our own players. It's the same
I feel
thing.
like Jesse Lingard had his issue was more of like a Balogun issue for Arsenal, bringing it back to the club that matters. Where Jesse Lingard,
you know what? The only reason why I had to bring it back is because you guys were missing it. You guys act like you don't, but then when we talk Arsenal, I see the smile
we was happy
on your face,
listening to Gino for half an hour.
And it hasn't even been a half an hour.
Well,
it felt like a half an hour. He keeps dragging on and on.
I'm talking about
Speak for yourself and your channel. Your channel. On and on and on.
Well, let me just say, I feel that Jesse Lingard, when he was at West Ham, did so well.
I agree.
And really resurged his career that he just wanted to get back to Manchester United and get that starting spot at Manchester United. And he was told, you killed it, you're going to get your shot. And then by the time the season started, he didn't do what he needed to do, and he didn't have a spot there. So he started looking for shit. West Ham didn't want him at that point, or maybe they still did. I don't know.
We didn't, and then we changed our mind. Then he went to Forest.
That's why I don't feel like it's a snub. It's more of a no, I'm going to try and go start for Manchester United. As much as I hate them,
it was
Coach
his goal,
didn't
right?
want him in the system, though. He didn't even want him anymore. Yeah.
But he thought he did good enough. That's why I say it's a Balogun thing, where Balogun shows up and he goes, I'm now the USA #1 striker. I'm now, big time goal scorer in some country that doesn't play football very well. And now I'm starter for Arsenal. And it's like, hi, who are you? You need to wear a name tag, as Arteta likes to do.
No, but I mean, I'll be his lawyer, but he looks at Nketiah and goes, well, you know what? Everybody's like, why did you leave to go to USA? And he's like, well, maybe because of what just happened in Nketiah. I don't want that either. Right? I know I'm going to play. So it goes both ways, I think, a little bit.
I was just reading that people connected with the USA team behind the scenes are saying that he should be dropped, and that somebody called Pepe should be starting because he's doing much better than Balogun.
Yeah,
PP's great. He's a great player. PP.
Yeah.
He used to be a goalkeeper to PP.
No, he's Ricardo Pepe. Ricardo Pepe. It's not. It's actually not Pepe. It's Pepe.
Pepe.
Funny.
Was there something in a headline that says what's happening to Man United?
In our headlines?
Yeah.
No. I don't know. We'll get to Man United then. But Stan, actually, the guy they're talking about, Ricardo Pepe, who should start ahead of Balogun, is from my hometown in Texas. So there you go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, hometown boy.
Nice.
So
Nice.
he's very good. He reminds me of like a Luis Diaz type, smaller, skinnier, but flies around the pitch.
Yeah. No, he's almost got that. Yeah, he's almost got that, what? Bring it back to Arsenal.
Is it like a Luis Diaz or an American Luis Diaz?
A Mexican.
There's a difference.
He's from El Paso. We're all
man
Mexican there. Even the white people.
I wouldn't recommend them MT players to anyone. Not really worth the mustard.
Hey, fuck off. I wouldn't recommend any fucking England players. What you're representing?
Hold
Harry
on, you won't
Maguire
recommend Saka, Ramsdale.
Not
Saka,
after that
Ramsdale, Ben White, no.
Not after that statement.
Players, Ben.
Oh man.
I only go with Scottish, Turkish, Flemish.
Ben, your last name's Ireland, right?
Yeah.
Ireland national team.
I asked my dad when I was a kid once, I says, where does our surname come from? And he said, France. and I was a bit gullible at that point. So I went to school and said I'm French.
You know what? That's all sorts of fucked up right
Yeah, you are, buddy. Yeah, you are.
Oui.
Yeah.
I'm from France, mate.
Something wrong with
Right,
this kid over
right.
here.
Not necessarily,
Bonjour.
Scally. I think they
Oh my
play
gosh.
together.
Mm.
Balogun and Pepe are vastly different types of strikers, but I think Pepe should have gone to the World Cup.
No, I agree with you on that one. He looked really good going in. Like
He was
every time you
killing
see
it.
him, you're like, if he's not going, then what are you doing?
Where does Josh Sargent fit into this argument?
With all the other redheads.
Why are you bringing up? What is wrong? What are you bringing up that nonsense for?
I don't know. He's working late shifts. Maybe it's something went to his head. I don't know.
No, he's just all. Ben's got this. He's been bombarded by Americans over the past few years at Leeds United.
Just
that
an
he's
overload,
got this
Oh,
profound
'cause,
hatred.
Oh wow.
And then they were even linked to Josh Sargent.
Oh yeah.
So they all research him, and they all know all about the
No, I
U.S.
knew
men's
who he
national
was.
team.
He was the shit ginger thing that couldn't score at Norwich. I didn't have to Google who he was. I knew who he was. He came on against Leeds and scored.
It's always the way.
What's going on, Ryan, over at the Mr. Arsenal podcast? Good to see you. BX, I know we mentioned you, but I don't know if we officially said, what up, my man? How are you? Sam Greenwood as well. And Scally Whiskey,
Right,
good
Sam.
to hear from you. Says,
Hey.
I'll take Pulisic over any of them. Who does Pulisic play for these days?
Team Milan along with Loftus-Cheek and Tomori.
Oh. Is that your other team? Is that your Italian team?
They're doing good. They're doing well.
Yeah.
They got to figure it out. Ever since they sold Tonali to Newcastle, they invested that money really well. But I wish them all the best. I think it's good in the long run for them, though. Wow, awkward pause.
What are we talking about?
What the hell
What
was
team
that?
are we talking about, by the
AC
way?
Milan.
Milan.
Oh.
Wow. What was
Is that a football team?
Oh my gosh.
Everybody just turned off as soon as he started talking Italian football. Oh my God. Sorry about that.
What am I even doing here? Anyways. All right. Well,
No, I think as soon as you mentioned like two players that we weren't sure of, we're like, yeah, man, you're doing great. Yeah.
Or everyone's just looking at Stan, just smoking. That's pretty much.
Yeah, it's just like somebody help us out. This is where we usually need Chris, who follows every single league in the world.
Yeah,
Liverpool Chris to be on here. He helps us out with all that. Or Najee's an AC Milan too. AC Milan.
I watch a lot.
I have to hear about that.
Yeah. But I actually got to get going, guys. Got to get going. I think Man City is going to win 1-0. I think it's going to be a great game all the way through. And then by the 85th minute, I think Man City is going to win 1-0.
What's your prediction for Millwall Leeds?
Who are they?
Yeah, don't come back for another 3 months. Piss off.
Hey, but Italy,
you too, bro.
You got Mo Master on your side. He gets Serie A more than he watches Prem. So
that's a
Mo Master was on you. He was listening to you. He's like, finally, these guys shut up.
Arsenal, Leeds, West Ham, back to Arsenal. All right, guys. Have a good
At
one.
least
All
we
right,
got
have a good night.
some West Ham.
All right.
Good night, Gino. All right. Do you guys think West Ham has any shot to beat Manchester City?
Yeah.
There's always an opportunity, isn't there? You know,
they've got to take the chances. It's as simple as that.
Right there, that's the key. If you will get chances, you just have to be clinical when you're in front of that goal. Because you're not because they're going to respond. They're going to respond in kind, and they always do. So if you punish them by putting it in the back of the net, then they have something to think about the next time they attack you. So, and I think West Ham played them really good. Was it a year or two ago, right? Yeah. And they just kept the foot on the neck the entire game. And if you're talking about them being deep, with players coming off the bench, they can support them. Then they have some answers off the bench if they need to, continue the pressure and whatever playing style they want. So, yeah.
What ground is it at? Who's the home team?
London,
West Ham.
London Stadium.
West Ham's
So
London.
West Ham, look, it's after an international break, so it's probably one of the better times to beat a team.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and
City
look,
not
West Ham,
they're not firing yet, are they? Let's be honest, they're not fully firing.
Man City is not fully firing, and they have 12 points out of 12. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like...
That's what's so fucking annoying out of them.
We're
Watching every week going, they're going to drop points. They're going to drop. How did you lose, get a hat trick?
You lose De Bruyne and you're like still like clicking. So like when you bring him back to add on, it's like, we're just adding him onto this big pile that we already have of like,
that game just went from like 1-0 to he's got an hat trick. It's over.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's like the ball just has to touch his foot and then it just goes into the goal.
He's crackers.
No matter where he is,
even
no
the last
what angle he's at, he manages to get that ball into the net.
Well,
it's unbelievable.
Unless he's on the penalty
spot. We've never seen anything like this, have we? We've never seen anything like this.
Even when he don't connect with it properly, it goes in and it's like, how do you make it look so easy, right? And everybody else has such an hard job of doing it.
Was it like 53 goals in 54 games or something? I mean, that is just
how
perverse.
does he look so... Somebody who looks so awkward
and then he misses
whenever
penalty.
he moves, whenever he runs.
He looks slow, don't he? In.
It's the Terminator. You know what happens, right? They send all of that as soon as the ball is coming in. All of the computing power goes straight to how do I get this ball into the net? That's it. And so, boom, because like you said, the ball comes in.
Even when
he's
running with the ball, he's head down in it, and he just runs like it's like watching. It's like watching a kid play football for the first time. He just head down and runs. He's got. Can I borrow your lighter, man?
Oh, reach it over there. Oh my God. So yeah, in the second half of tonight's show, I would love it if we could go through all of the matches going on this weekend, and everybody could give us their predictions. But let's take a look at the actual table right now, because Arsenal are 5th behind West Ham there. A decent start from a lot of teams. I remember last season, I feel like there was more of a gap already in the top positions. I mean, it was only we're only 4 matches in. We shouldn't even be looking at the table, to be honest. But it just shows us, Everton have 1 point. Arsenal have only dropped 2 points. We should beat the shit out of Everton on Sunday. Will that happen?
In this mid-table, who do you think it's going to split at some point in it? This top half, bottom half. So, who do you think are like pretenders at the minute? Palace for me. I think they'll get found out.
Palace, Nottingham Forest. Chelsea.
It's going to be a sticky relegation battle for me this year because, to be honest, I think it's worse than last year for teams.
I think Newcastle are going to come good. I think they've got too much quality.
No offence to Mark, but on the evidence thus far of Wolves, not great. But I think from 15th down, they're not very good teams.
Wow, Danny's got City, Newcastle, Spurs as your top 3. Wow, Newcastle got some work to do.
I actually think there's a sneaky chance that Wolves can beat Man United.
Yeah,
I think Man United have just got so much. They're in so much turmoil behind the scenes at the moment.
They play Liverpool tomorrow.
I think Eddie Howe, unless Newcastle turn it around, he could be your first to go.
Yeah, Wolves should have beaten Manchester United on week 1.
Yeah, they should have,
But there was a pile driver tackle that was clearly not a penalty.
Well, whoever's playing Man United this weekend, I just think they're there for the taking at the moment. And I think that the manager's under a lot of pressure.
My answer to the question is...
And it's Brighton.
There's nothing wrong with Man U. They're just exactly where we want them. I can't wait till we're singing Eric's at the wheel. Because they got excited when Ollie
There you
finished
go.
second, didn't they? And then look what happened.
Don't
So as long
Liverpool
as they
have some
keep
kind of
wasting money
thing
on
where
shit players,
they lose a lot of their games at lunchtime after these early kickoffs? They don't have a good time with them, do they, Liverpool?
I'm not sure. I'm
As I
not sure
understand
about
it.
that.
I don't know what to make of Liverpool.
They're gonna be
they've
good.
started well. They've started
They're gonna
well,
be
but
good.
I've not seen enough of their midfield together. I know they've just basically changed the midfield in the transfer window, but I'm not.
I think they've got
I
something.
don't know where they're going to be in my
Sorry,
head
Dave.
yet. No, you're all right.
They're
Conrad. I
gonna
just don't
be
know where
good.
they're going to. Yeah.
It's something like after international games, and then you get like the 12 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. It's been Liverpool for like the last 12 times or something like this, and Klopp's been really vocal about. It's a big number. He's been vocal about it, saying like, you know, why is it always the same? Their players, you know, they have to recover and stuff like that.
Because you're a big club that brings in the money. That's the answer.
Yeah, I love it.
Don't be so successful.
But they seem to have bad games as well, so they might have a bad time tomorrow if it continues, you know?
Yeah. I think that's where they're weakest in the defence, to be honest. I think they concede goals.
But I think that striker that they bought last year, I think he's going to really come good this season.
Nunes.
Yes.
Darwin Nunes, yeah.
He looks like he's bedded in now, and he looks very good, I think.
I've put a draw for Brighton Scum. I think it'll be a draw.
Oh, you're muted? Or is it just me?
I can't hear you, Lolo.
Sorry, muted myself. So we're about at the halfway point right now, so it's about time for us to have a little bit of a bio break. And as in case you missed it earlier in the show, I will be on my way to London next week, so I'll be there for happy hour next week. So I figured this week, for this week's bio break, we'd go with an old classic from last season when we got back from London. This is our Naked Attractions video. So we will be back in just 4 minutes. We will be back in 4 minutes after this little break. So go pee if you gotta, go get a new beer, all that. We will be right back.
Mark, after happy hour the other night, one of our Stoop crew members, Scooby D2, he asked me, what was it about your trip to London that like surprised you the most? And I said something.
Beer?
No, I don't know. I said something about fans and things like that, and he goes, no, not about you or the show or anything like that. What is it about? Something about British culture. Was it, you know, the tea, the coffee, the people, the this and that? And I said, oh, I know exactly what it was.
Would I know?
You will know when I say it. Because we were at Bandy's house. One of our Stoop crew members who lives in London invited us to his house. His wife cooks us dinner.
By the way, absolutely fantastic.
Absolutely fantastic.
We cannot thank you enough for that home cooked meal.
This is gonna get weird, so don't bring them into it too much. So we're there eating our like chicken, jerk chicken or something like that, and Bandy goes, "Oh, I remember the guys telling you about this, but you've never seen it." And he puts on TV Naked Attraction.
Oh my God, I remember that.
And if you're an American and you don't know what Naked Attraction is,
we didn't.
Don't Google it on your home computer, I guess. Like he puts it, it's on television. So it's this show where straight away he goes, "Oh, it's on." And he puts it on. It's on like channel 2 or 3, like not
BBC 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever.
Not paid programming. And right away we see this girl with like a little pixie cut.
She's
and
got
it's a game show.
She's got the elf ears on, which was really odd.
It's like a game show background. And she's like, "Oh, okay. So here we go. We're going to show you the next one." And they're like, "Julie is a bisexual, non-gender neutral something." And I was like, "What is this?" And then they pan over and there's like 6 people standing there with these like screens covering
all you see is the naughty bits.
Balls.
All you see is the naughty bits.
And she's like, "Oh, He's clearly a grower, not a shower. And they're showing us his dick on TV.
They're showing both
And then they
genders.
pan over to the girl and you're like, oh, that's a little more hair than I'm used to, but she's got great vulva. And I'm like, what is
But this is the complete and only criteria. It's not like Chuck Woolery. Like Chuck Woolery is coming out and goes, so how was that first date? I'll be back in 2 and 2. No, the whole camera is focused on their naughty beds. And that's how they're to decide whether or not they want to date them.
So then they pan over to the next guy and he's like flipping it. Flip.
He's got the horse stick.
And the host goes, oh, well, somebody's getting excited to see you. And then she's like, well, he's clearly not a shower. And it was like,
It was absolutely
and once again,
mind-boggling
jerk chicken.
that someone had come up with this idea of a show. I mean, we've seen
oh my God.
I've seen Naked and Afraid, which is kind of like the Survivor.
And they blur it all because
And they
you
blur
don't
it
want to
because
see
this is
vulva
the-
while
this
they're
is the-
on.
This is the States, but this is literally the only thing they focus on. For how you are to decide.
I mean, we didn't watch the
whether-
whole show, so
no, but,
who
but
knows?
I've
Maybe
got
they
an
move
idea.
up.
I've got an idea that it's like that's all you see. Then they go on a date, and then you meet the person. Because I can't imagine that they've got like sacks on and they walk out on stage.
Oh, their
and
sacks
all there
were
is
on.
is there.
Their sacks
Their
were on.
sacks were definitely on.
Anyway, so if that was the thing we found the
most odd of British
interesting, odd, something like that of British culture. And yeah, can't wait to see the American version where they're like, ooh, I like those boxer shorts because they're not going to show anything. Naked Attractions, season 5, coming to the Stoop.
They'll be back in 2 and 2.
We'll just film it like this.
Welcome.
Welcome
Do you
to
prefer Mark or Lolo?
Welcome to the Stoop, everybody.
Well, Lolo's clearly got some issues here.
It was
man.
the bisexual non-gender something.
The bisexual non-gender something that was going on.
You're only going back to watch that, are you?
Yeah, man. Yeah, have you seen that show, Stan? You guys know about that show?
But what show's that?
I've
I
never
missed
watched it.
the intermission because I had to do
Naked
something.
and Afraid. Naked.
Sorry,
and-
naked.
Naked Attraction. Naked
No,
Attraction.
Naked Attraction.
Yeah, it's terrible.
What's that then?
It is.
You got to check
It's
it out.
like the Freaks of England pulling show naked. It's like Blind Date for naked.
It's a blind
freaks.
date, but starkers.
Yeah, it's gross.
Okay.
Back.
I hope Silla's not on it. I don't want to see that.
So, guys,
Surprise,
we've got one more guest who joined us here. So everybody say what's up to Jersey Chris, Dirty Jers.
Dirty
What's up,
Christ.
man?
You guys, how are you?
Congratulations,
10
Chris.
minutes
Very
ago.
good to see you, brother.
Good to see you
We
as
was
well.
talking Italian players.
I know. I was watching on my phone, but I was feeding the new baby. So we adopted our second daughter about 10 days ago. So
Congratulations.
she's with the missus now.
What's she called?
So-
What's she called?
Naomi, but we're calling her Omi. For fun.
Homie. All right.
Congratulations.
Thank
there
you.
you go. Well, awesome, guys. Well, we have it is time for some betting in the dark. Mr. Tom isn't here, but I suppose I can do the honors unless
He's
somebody
asked me
else.
if he asked me
Ben.
something things. But it's up
All
to
right.
you. It's your show.
No,
It's
I
yours.
haven't looked at them, so we'll have Ben do the honors. Let's get to it.
Betting in the dark with Mr. Tom.
Come on, love, place your bets.
All right.
Does he send you the slides?
Yeah, we have the slides here.
Right,
Okay,
cool. I just like to point out before we go on that these are only fun bets, and you can make any bets you want. So whatever Tom's chose, he's chose because it's the format we like them in. So stop ribbing his bets, people.
But remember, if
Yeah,
you are going to
yeah.
bet responsibly.
Yeah.
And when the fun
And
stops,
remember,
The fun stuff.
we've told Mr. Tom to get us bets that give us crazy odds. So clearly they're not going to happen. So yeah, I don't want to hear from people that you took the bet and you lost money, because that's what
the point.
is going to happen.
And
That's
then
what's going to
basically-
happen. Sorry.
And Mark won once, and it was great.
use the bet as a framework and adjust it into your image, like
Yeah.
the 100 Air Mark.
Yeah. There you go. All right, let's do it, Ben.
Right. Just to point out that the reasons he's picked Jota and Gakpo is because he's not sure on the South American players will be playing, whether they'll be back in time. So this is the reason for these. So he's gone for Liverpool 2-1, Jota to score first and Gakpo to score any time. £1 will get you £212. Thoughts, gentlemen?
Will Jota score against his former team or celebrate? Yes, no.
I think he celebrates.
He won't celebrate. I don't think he'll.
I see he's had a lip job.
What is going on with what is that?
He's a vampire.
It's a Vlad the Impaler edition. John's been busy
Yeah.
because he's in Romania.
No, John's in Romania, so everything he's
Oh, I see. Okay.
he's got Vlad the Impaler on the brain right now.
I mean, if Tom is right and the South Americans don't start, it's not a bad shout. Not a bad shout.
I just don't know if Wolves score.
Van Dijk banned. Did he get his red card stood? I take it.
I think he's got one more match for
One more match. Yeah.
Sent.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
feel
just
free to
don't
place
know.
this bet, gentlemen. You don't know.
Yeah, but for $1, it's not bad.
I like it. I think it's a good bet. I can see Wolves. If the Wolves score, I can see it happening early, maybe like a Trent mishap or an own goal type thing, and then Liverpool.
But you need Jota to score first, though.
Oh no! Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, you can change that to own goal first. Obviously, you can pick your own players. The odds will
What is a Jota own goal first?
Technically, that classes as Jota to score first.
Oh, does it? It depends on your bookie, I suppose.
Clear that one, Mr. Tom.
You can add that like a Harry Maguire own goal bet to every game then.
Yeah, absolutely. If he plays, you guys at the Arsenal bar when we were playing United, when Harry Maguire came on, there was a standing ovation in the bar. We were all so happy. And then they brought Johnny Evans in. And we were like, what is this, Leicester?
Yeah, we thought it was like Christmas, wasn't it?
Yeah, we were like, we're going to win this game somehow.
I literally saw people in the pub just rubbing their hands together.
It's like, how many?
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of which, I watched Leicester today, and that team will not be in the championship for more than a year.
No.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
They look good.
All right, Ben, next up.
I'll get back to that next one. Newcastle, Brentford. Newcastle to win 3-1. Alexander Isak to score first. And Callum Wilson to score. £1 will get you 94. That's not bad, actually, to say. They're pretty much odds-on scorers for Newcastle.
I think holding Brentford to 1. I guess it's at home, but
yeah, I think
they need a win.
Put up more of a fight, personally.
Yeah, Newcastle needs a win, and Newcastle needs a clean sheet.
Newcastle needs a win because they're gonna have a tough September through December. Their Champions League group is probably the hardest. It's gonna take everything out of them.
Yeah, it's a tasty group. Like if Newcastle come to the party, I was expecting more from them, but it is early. But I think if they don't win this, the pressure will soon mount on him. Because they're not patient, are they? Up there, their fans. They don't like watching draws. So I don't think personally they strengthened well enough to say they're going into Champions League. and the money that they've got available, I just think that they're playing it too cautious for me. I think if you're going to go for it, go for it. Don't just nibble away at it.
Yeah.
But I think Brentford get a draw personally out of this.
I think they can. They should have definitely got at least one more defender. But
yeah,
you're gonna see they're gonna get a
is with
parachute.
you.
They're gonna get like a parachute loan from one of the 4 Saudi teams come January.
They should have bought Rob Holding for 100 million. That's what they should have done, but they didn't.
Where'd Holding go to? Palace or
Palace? Yeah,
Palace. Yeah,
I think that's a good team for him.
Why?
Still think we could have got more for him though. It was derisory. He's like 1 point something million, adding up to 2 point something with the add-ons. I'm sure he's worth a bit more than that.
Yeah.
You know, he's capable.
Suited everybody, didn't it? They wanted him off the books. He wanted out.
Yeah, we showed our hand, didn't it? Everybody knew we showed, you know,
yeah.
Everyone knew where we were. Our hand was shown.
All right, let's see the last one you got here. Uh-oh.
This one is Everton with their new badge and Arsenal with their new badge. Arsenal to win 3-0, Martinelli to score first, Saka and Nketiah to score. So basically naming all three.
Wow, naming all
£1 gets you 227. That's a tough bet.
I feel like those odds should be even higher because we're naming all three.
Yeah, and
we've not won at Goodison since what, 2016?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Listen, that's a 3-point festival, that place this season. You've got
last season they were 19th with a new manager and it didn't happen. So I don't think the scenario
They've been
matters.
a banana skin for us. They've been a bit of a banana skin for us at Goodison.
So has Martinelli scored yet this year?
No.
I mean, this is the game. This is a game to do it.
Yeah.
Has he started regular?
Yeah. He started every match.
Is Havertz just kind of eating into his space?
Yeah, that's kind of what both Stan and I were talking about is like, I wouldn't put Martinelli's dip. It's 4 matches. He's been very crucial. He got a crucial, beautiful, like spinning assist to Nketiah for a winner. Or I guess it was our first goal our first goal against Nottingham Forest. But he's got different people behind him every match. He doesn't have Xhaka next to him. He has Kai Havertz next to him. He's got Declan Rice behind that. And Arteta's like doing too much right now. I would put his dip in form more into the system than him. I think he's ready. And I was even considering taking out.
I think he looks sharp, Lolo.
Yeah, he looks absolutely sharp. I feel that this is a breakout game for him. Like I could see him, if this happened, he could get that goal and one of those assists. I feel like he's going to have a breakout.
I've been waiting for the same kind of performance but influence on the game that we got from Jesus last season for him, because he needs it. Right, everybody keeps talking about his confidence, and the only way that's going to happen is if we go into a game and he comes out and he's like, pretty much the star of it. I mean, he's got it in him, right? So that's the only way all of this noise calms down. He needs it. We need it because we want to get past this whole point of like it's a £65 million player. That's the only way it's gonna quiet down, because we could go undefeated and it'll still be $65 million player. Does nothing for a team that didn't lose a match, kind of thing. So
but it's not like he hasn't made any goal contributions at all. He has been involved in goal contributions. He hasn't scored.
He hasn't have an assist or a goal. So
he has had assists.
I don't think he's had an assist, has he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but for Eddie, to be involved, you don't have to be the final pass. You can be involved in the break, the build up. Could be the what's it called in hockey? The pass before the assist.
the
assist
second
the-
assist or something.
The pre-assist.
Yeah, but we brought him in
Bullet.
to replace a player that we said we needed to improve on offensively. So the only way that works is if the stats match, and the only way the stats match is if he actually gets score goals and assists. Because that's what we said. I mean, I think everybody was saying that's what we were lacking was Xhaka there, was his offensive, skills just weren't where we wanted them to be. So for me,
He's had
that's
assists though.
that's the only way. That's the only way to quantify whether it's working or not. So, because if you wanted an offensive midfielder, then you go get one, right? He's not. That's not what we brought him in for. Only
Is there a
part of
Smith,
the
Smith
part of the
Rowe
job.
sighting?
It sounds that simple, but it's not. Got to find the right one.
No,
Here, but
there-
then I see what you
Smith
say.
Rowe
You
has
don't
had
just
0
take
minutes.
what's going, do you?
Lolo, can I
You
ask you
get the
about
right
as we're
person or none at all.
we're talking about Arsenal Everton? Would you continue with Kai Havertz in this particular fixture, or would you put somebody else in his place?
I would put Kai Havertz in goal because he's got to stay on the pitch for confidence. But I don't think we're going to need Ramsdale. So you keep Kai Havertz's confidence by keeping him in the starting 11. You just put him in goal. And he's really good at not getting the ball in the back of the net. So he should be good blocking it out of the net if they do come down there.
What's the
To answer you honestly,
and let me just add as well, because
Me
a lot of people. Let me just add as well, because a lot of people have been saying that Teabag should be starting. Fabio Vieira should just put him in. So I just wondered what you thought.
Personally, I always think we should play our best 11 out there. But thinking of it, if I'm trying to think the way Mikel Arteta has been thinking and working, this is another one that we should have no problem winning, despite Kai Havertz being on the pitch. Like, we should win this. We should win this with 10 men. We should be able to beat them with 10 men.
What's the
So Kai Havertz on the pitch.
Rowe?
I feel like we if we're trying to get him to kick off, Arteta's like forcing him in to just get that first goal, get that first good assist, get that first badass game. Everyone will get off of your ass like that. I think this is still a game for that. So yeah, I'd go ahead.
What is the crack with
Do you
Smith Rowe?
think you could maybe play in Odegaard's position, and Odegaard is more mature to play on that left side? And I think Havertz wants to play from where Odegaard's playing from because he's left-footed, all that stuff.
I just think that with what Odegaard did last season in that position, getting 15 goals and 7 assists, which is a huge record, Lampard style, I don't want to mess with that. I don't want to tinker with that. I don't want to mess around with that. I want that and a little bit more.
But you can't just say that. You can't say that, and then you just talked about Martinelli and Saka.
So my thing is
both losing out on what they did last season as well because of a certain player. So for me, they all have a claim to this. Well, what I did last season, I want to do the same thing this season. But you know what? There's a player playing here who isn't the same as the one we had before, and right now isn't contributing the same way to the players around him.
I just thought that if you've got a central midfielder that can give you 15 goals in open play and 7 assists, which is a record in the Premier League, and no one even came close to that, I don't want to mess around with that. That's one thing that I just don't need to play around with because I want to replicate that. But I just think that even though Kai Havertz has had a bad
it's healthy to have competition for when he's injured.
Yeah, but even though
you want all your players to be on that level, don't you? Really, that's what you initially want. You want them all to be on that level.
This is the one game that I would start Havertz in. I just think for the physicality, away from home, Teabag is look good coming off the bench, and he's getting good. He's getting like people are recognising what he can do. I just think that to throw him in the starting lineup, because people have been saying that he does look a bit slight in this particular matchup. This isn't the one to start. Fabio Vieira. I would start with Havertz
Like I told you,
if it goes wrong, you can change it during the match. But I will start with Havertz.
I forgot about Trossard.
So
as I told you, Havertz has no assists, so it's not like he's contributing. And
to me, Trossard should be an automatic starter on that team.
He should be part of. He should be part of
Well, these are
a
problems you
rotation
want,
that we can start any of the players anytime, and we don't see a dip because that's where
you want to be where City are at, where if they go, Bernardo Silva's injured this week,
here's my stance on Trossard, because I absolutely love Trossard. When we signed him, I was over the moon because I never even thought it would be possible to get him away from Brighton, especially for that price with what Brighton's charging. So I absolutely love Trossard. The thing is, he's such an intelligent player. He's so smart and good at what he does. I feel that he is just so much more useful if you give him the last 30 minutes of the match. He's been watching it in a way that he's broken it down before he gets out there. When he starts, it's like, okay, come on, let's go. Let's do that. And it's more of a meandering, as opposed to coming on and going, guys, this is exactly what we need. Is this? I've been watching this all game. That's why he scores so quickly or has such a good impact when he comes on, is because he's been doing that. When we start him,
100%.
If we needed to start him, let's start him. But we don't need to. So
I want to agree with you, but Arteta
doesn't
give our players 20 minutes, 30 minutes. He doesn't give us that.
Whatever he gets.
I mean, sometimes it's not when you come in in the 80th minute. Are you expecting something all the time?
Yeah.
You're not really.
Yeah.
You're not really.
Seriously, no, I thought
but you're not. When you bring somebody in the 80th minute, you don't go, you're going to get into this game and you're going to get me something. That's not the reason why you bring somebody in the 80th minute. I don't believe that's unless somebody's injured.
What he's doing now, he's doing what Eric Smith-Rowe did a couple of seasons ago, where you've got someone that you can bring off the bench, and it's not just because they're just a warm body to replace the person that went off. They come on and they're able to do something. They're able to make a contribution.
Impact.
And Trossard does that. When everyone's calling out for him to start, and do you remember a few games back when he started? Didn't see it, did you?
Now they started him as striker, and I didn't like that.
You want to fight with me?
He shouldn't have started as a striker.
Trossard was asked to play a striker. He's not a striker.
Yeah,
he can play in that position.
He could have switched Havertz in that game. Every time you bring it up, I'm like, if you switch with Havertz, that game goes totally different.
He wasn't a rigid striker. He comes deep. There's switching going around. You know, the way it looks on paper is not how they play rigid for 90 minutes. It's not like that. You know? But basically what I'm saying though is, everyone was clamoring for him to start. Probably he was as well, right? And he didn't take his opportunity. That's what it's all about, isn't it? He didn't do enough to And what I like about
Havertz isn't doing enough either, but he gets to play. So obviously, it's not about that. It's not always about that.
I know, but Mikel Arteta has painted himself into a corner because he went to owners and said, "I need 65 million for that guy, and I need to pay him X." And they said, "All right then," and he has to make it work. And there is, as much as I get it. I'm not trying to protect Havertz because he hasn't shown me that anything yet. If the season was to end now, and he said, "How was his season?" I'd say it was rubbish. But there are stats that say things like he's covered the most ground in games of anyone on the team. And I might not see that with my eye.
I get what you're saying.
You know,
you just got to give him a bit more time.
Yeah, you spent a lot of money on him, but he doesn't have to click day one. He doesn't. It isn't like
he only has to score.
He doesn't have to click day one.
Like in order, Pep didn't play Grealish much his first year at all. Like, guys, I think it's a mistake.
I'm gonna have to start coordinating this conversation. We're all talking over each other. It's good. Go, Chris.
I'm saying if he really wants to emulate Pep's success, Pep doesn't play players immediately after buying them. Grealish barely played that first year. It barely started that first year. They found a way to bring
Chris,
him in.
we're dealing with somebody who's mentally broken coming from the club, the domestic abuser that is Chelsea Football Club. Like he's just broken. He's a broken man, so he
I don't
needs
think
the
he is
playing
though.
time.
I think he might
will
be.
be more broken without the playing time.
I think the fact that you buy him for 65, 75 million pounds is enough of a confidence boost. Obviously, there's a lot of pressure with that as well, but I think he understands he's a valued player, and I do think he'll come good at some point. But I think he
Can
would
I just add?
benefit from being worked in to the team as opposed to forced to contribute day
Not
one.
many players that come from the Bundesliga to the Premier League succeed. Very few.
Yeah, right.
It's
Yeah.
a different league. It's a lot harder. Look, he started all right at Chelsea and then he went stale. I don't think he's the player you think he is, to be honest. He's nowhere near Odegaard's level to be playing on that side. And I don't think he's good enough to start for you at the minute.
You know, people said the same stuff about Odegaard, before he started succeeding at Sociedad. And then even when Arsenal first got him, they thought they were, like a lot of people, I think, were not super excited about that loan move.
But
right?
Erdegaard was earlier in his career, and that's one reason why he probably, but Havertz has already established himself as a really professional player by the time he got to Chelsea, right? Everybody goes back to his days in the German league, right? And says, look, that's why it was a good pickup, right, by Chelsea at the time. So he had established himself. Erdegaard was still potential at that point. He came in for half a season. I don't think we pressed him on the pitch that often. We didn't put him out there over and over and over again to see if we could figure it out. And everybody was like,
I do
"What?"
agree with Ben to a degree. I think Bundesliga to Premier League is the hardest because you have Haaland's goal rate at City is better than it was at Dortmund, right? But then you do have Timo Werner, Havertz.
Everyone else.
It's just hard to tell
Aronson.
because there's so much scoring in the Bundesliga. It's such
Jadon
a
Sancho.
league.
Sancho is not the same. There's lists over the years. There's lists of them that there's very few that actually hit the same level or get better. Very few.
But see, this is the difference: is that what Arteta is trying to do is not get Kai Havertz back to how he was at Leverkusen or wherever. Arteta is Kai Havertz could be Arteta's downfall. He's gained all this good grace and all this. We are the fan club, the fandom is as much behind Arteta as we've been behind anyone since Wenger. Like we are behind him. He's helped reconnect the fan base. We sort of believe in what he does, and so he's got some good grace. And I think if Kai Havertz doesn't work out, Arteta is throwing it all away. And he could, if we don't get Champions League this season, if we don't win a trophy this season, and Kai Havertz plays every single match and never comes good, Arteta could be gone. Like it's that big of an issue. I don't know where my point started, but that's where it's ending.
He's done it before, hasn't he? On a smaller scale, where it was Willian, but the cost was a lot of a smaller scale. And what he doesn't have the luxury that Pochettino has. Pochettino can walk into Chelsea and not play Modric. And if the owners turn around and say, "Why are you playing that guy? It cost us 88 million," he can turn around and say, "I didn't pick that player. That wasn't on my watch." Whereas with Havertz, he has to make that work. He has to make it work. And I think that by continuing to play the player should be feeling confident because he must be thinking to himself, "Well, I've got the boss's confidence." If he takes him out, that could probably be more detrimental. But he has to make it work. Do you know what I mean? The amount of money that he spent on him, but I do think it was a bit of a vanity buy because it wasn't like we were short in that area of the pitch.
I think if you guys bought James Maddison, you'd be competing for the league this year.
Oh God, don't say that. I know. We could have had that.
Yeah. We could have got two players for the price. Two players because the salary that he's taken in and all of that. So Arteta is still a project. He's in his fourth year of managing. Most managers in their fourth year aren't doing the things he's done at this point, right? We're asking him to compete with some of the top managers in the world right now, and he's in his fourth year, and I don't believe many managers in their fourth year are being asked to do that. And
I also
be
don't think it's.
consistent.
I'd love to have your midfield options. I really would. You've got a lovely midfield.
I don't think it's that big of a deal if Havertz doesn't work out. Like, it sounds like a lot of money, but it's like it's become less and less money over time. That amount is
Chris, if he forces him all season long. Right now, we're 4 games in where nobody's seen anything from Havertz that we're like, why should he be starting?
You guys are going to finish top 4. There's no
we saw Williams score in his first game, and he didn't score again, it seemed, until the last game of the season. And Arteta's face when he scored in the last game of the season, he had his hand in his, he's like one of these things, like, oh, he finally come due. And I think that's what we're seeing. So we've seen this before. We've seen this before, and I don't, and like as I said, I'll keep saying it. He doesn't have to be perfect today. Can he not work into the system like other players do? He doesn't have to work. It doesn't have to click right away. It can work if we just give him the time to go through practice, come in off the bench, all those types of things, start some games. It doesn't have to just work. And once again, you've got Rice, you've got Timber there. It looked like it clicked right away, right? The things we were asking of the players in those positions, it worked right away. Havertz, I don't think it's working the way they want it to. So it's not the same.
Yeah, but Gary, those aren't solid comparisons. Timber shows up and we go, yo, do what you do. Rice shows up and we go, yo, do what you do, but better. Havertz shows up and he's like, I don't do anything. And we're like, yeah, you're going to have to work on some shit.
Well,
Like
so based on what you just said, so why are you forcing him to play something? He needs time, right? It's basically what you're saying. If he needs time, it's not out there on the pitch, maybe struggling to find his way.
Yeah,
we'll have him for a season if you don't want him.
All right, we're not saying I don't want him. I'm just saying we don't have to push him out on the pitch every day. That's all.
In order for him to be a success, right, he has to be able to do more than what Xhaka did in that same position. Xhaka scored 7 goals, and we're only 4 games in. What if we get to game 30 and then he's between game 30 and 38, he scores a goal in every game. Then he's scored 8 goals. I think there's more time, but I'm being generous because Chris hit the nail on the head. Maddison can move to another club. He goes to London, same league. It's not like he's having to settle and all that bullshit. And he's hitting the ground running.
Or cheaper. Probably
he's hitting the ground running. It's not like Havertz hasn't faced
you're talking about players that were playing.
He knows all
well,
these teams. He knows all these grounds. Do you know what I mean? He knows this environment, so it is a little bit worrying.
He came in as a struggling player, didn't he?
He could be Arteta, Nicola Pepe.
That's the problem. Why would we buy a struggling player?
I didn't get why you bought Havertz. I really didn't.
Why?
I think you have to judge everyone at Chelsea with on a curve because
you didn't need that position. You had other positions, in my opinion.
Agreed, Ben. Exactly.
That I would say that more than anything. You didn't need him as much as I think he was. Like, I don't think he was he's a good player. That Chelsea team is a cancer right now. It's kind of the same way I think about Manchester United. If Jadon Sancho would have went to Man City, I don't think he probably would have turned out just fine.
He would probably barely be getting some game time now, but every game that he would come on, he would score.
I always say if Foden can sit on the bench, then anybody can sit on the bench, right? And that's Havertz included, because Foden can start for any team, right?
5 players that can play in that position. Before we bought Havertz, I can think of 5 already. It doesn't make sense, does it?
Yeah. And then to see Fabio Vieira come off the bench twice and contribute with goals at the end of a couple of moves that he's making. You're like, wow, that's what we wanted that in the first season. We get into the second. Maybe Havertz needs time, And yes, he's coming. He should be able to click, but I don't think it's the same. It's not going to click, and it hasn't the way we want it to. So,
well, let me drop this bomb on you. I think the hero of the season at some point for Arsenal, be it in a cup, Champions League, an important match is gonna be Eddie fucking Nketiah. I'm getting behind Eddie this season. I'm getting behind him. I haven't fully gotten behind him.
Finally,
I'm telling you.
Listen, I'm just gonna go to Scally's comment there, right? This is a case of laughing at how the other half live. Do you know, like the rich half? When
Laughing at
like
the
the
other
poor
half
man
live.
and the rich man, right? And looking at how the other half live and their problems of Kai Havertz. God damn, you don't understand how lucky you are.
Third world
you
problems.
Could win the league, you'd still have something to moan about. You would, honestly. And Eddie Nketiah, good shout. It's about time you got behind him because the kid can score goals.
Yeah. And he works his ass off. He works his fucking ass off the whole time he's on the pitch.
So would I.
I don't know. The other day I was just rereading the transcripts from the documentary when he's sitting there with Sambi Lakanga, and Sambi's talking about like not getting game time or something, and he's like, "What the fuck?
You know,
You think you're the only?
If you could only one, my friend." He calls him my friend.
Yeah, you won, my friend.
When you say that to someone, you know that they're being sarcastic to you. They're not your friend.
Yeah.
But you know what? But after that, you saw what happened. Like right, in Nketiah, when he gets his chances, he's been showing up, and other players when they got their chances, not. And sometimes that maybe because they can't. But he's been doing it. So
I mean,
I believe there's more in there. So I'm, so I guess I'm that tough love person because I still think he's got more to give. So
absolutely he does.
So,
absolutely he does.
I think every player's got more to give.
Yeah.
But I know that.
Well, for me,
you look at some players and wonder what anyone ever saw in them, like Kai Havertz. But
so what are your
players in there? There won't be professional players, would they?
As we're having a bit of an Eddie Loving here, what was your thoughts on him finally being selected to play for England, right? 1 game, 2 games, right? One is a meaningful game of points. The other is a friendly against Scotland. He gets wheeled out at the press conference next to the manager to face the cameras and, field questions, and then doesn't even get a sniff. Doesn't get a cap.
Do you know what? Right,
that to me is Southgate going, I have a black friend, this sort of a thing, like one of these moments of come check this out. Now Harry Maguire, go in and score a goal.
If you get picked for your country, it should be on the form that you're in. And for me, he starts ahead of Callum Wilson on form. Harry Maguire should be nowhere near that team.
So,
it's just.
I mean,
about England managers. England managers.
Saka and Callum Wilson on before Eddie, and it was a friendly. Saka did not.
I don't
need to play.
Brian Clough, right? But the reason Brian Clough never managed England is because he didn't fit the FA profile of what you want. A kiss-ass suck-up, right? That picks the same fucking shit players because it's jobs for the boys. I don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Watching England is boring. It's awful. And it reflects on the manager. It really does. I don't care that we got to a semi-final and a final, right? It is shit. Honestly, he's shit.
No, and Eddie was so fucking stoked to get called up.
But the thing is, he still has the option because he never got his cap. He can still play for Ghana. At least give the guy 10 minutes somewhere, and you've locked him in now. You've locked him in for the future. But you don't
think Thomas Partey is talking to him about that?
Exactly.
You don't think Thomas Partey is like, yo, me and Kudus? Like, come on.
He could have locked him in.
There's a player trying to play for Scotland in here.
Talk about players Arsenal.
Why did Harry
Kudus?
Kane,
we should have got Kudus. Yeah.
Why does Harry Kane, right? He played in the meaningful game. I get that. There's points at stake. Why does he have to play nearly all of the match in the friendly? What's the point? We know it's Harry Kane. We know what he can do. Why not blood somebody? Blood's one of the youths. You know what I mean? Makes no sense.
We was fully in control of that game at all points, apart from 10 minutes when Harry Maguire did his thing. So that's the game to play them players in. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, put Calvin Phillips on. I like Calvin, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't deserve an England cap. He's played no football.
Exactly.
It's the same.
What message was that sent to those people that are turning out every week and working hard and are getting minutes? Yeah. And then you see something like that, you think, well, what's the fucking point?
Well, yeah, and
Harry
how is
Harry
Jared
Maguire,
Bowen, James Ward-Prowse? How does James Ward-Prowse never get a call up?
I feel that if I got my boots out of the cupboard and went and played centre back, I'd be better than Harry Maguire. So I've got a chance. Just shocking. Shouldn't be anywhere near a football.
There's at least 6 or 7, maybe 10 English center backs that are. I almost feel bad for him at this point. Like there's probably 10 center backs.
He doesn't pick himself, does he? He doesn't pick himself.
Yeah, he
doesn't pick himself.
No, but he's happy taking whatever wage he's on, isn't he? So sod him. I don't feel sorry for footballers. They get paid regardless.
Oh, Ben, did you miss that Harry Maguire held Man United for ransom when they were trying to give him over to West Ham?
West Ham.
And he said, "No, you need to pay me 15 million to leave." And they were only going to pay him like 10 million to leave or something. It was crazy. And he, this is a very happy hour story, so go check your facts on your own time. But basically, this is exactly 100% truthfully what happened.
He pulled out his dick.
He said he pulled out his dick and he
allegedly.
said, "You put $15 million on that, and I'll go."
I don't like players that
Ham.
do that, right, to the crowd because they've had stick and they score a goal. And that includes Pat Bamford, right? It's you get paid, right? Take the stick. You're getting paid. These people are paying lots of money to watch you perform, right? And what, because you've been shit and you don't like what they've been saying about you, you go like that. Shut up and fuck off. I can't stand him, honestly. He's dog shit.
Yeah.
It's true.
As somebody said, he's got the wrong people talking in his ears because for some reason, as you say, he doesn't want to go play football. He doesn't want to play football anymore. If West Ham takes him, they're going to play him, right? Most likely play him more than United.
Is the wage going to be? Is the wage going to be that ridiculously different at West Ham? Is it?
No.
You're going to get paid 10 million, let's say, to sever your contract. So there's 2/3 of what they owe you.
Win bonuses.
You're going to be picking up 150 grand. You are going to be able to name a price, aren't you, at West Ham, a decent price. So, and it's not enough. It's just greed. It's just.
He's got sponsorship. He's probably got sponsorships from a few outfits going on as well on the side. Sponsorships to wear these boots, sponsorships to wear this watch. You know, all that shit going on.
West Ham can produce their new adult animation series of Cat Kicker and Slabhead, The Adventures of Cat Kicker and Slabhead, with Kurt Zuma and Harry
I could see Maguire working
back.
much better under a David Moyes style of a manager than someone like a Ten Hag. You know, more of it.
He'll end up back at Sheffield United.
You know, I think he would have done well there as well. You know, I think he could have been able to have rebooted himself there. And
I think he had one good season at Leicester, and everyone had a wank over him. And
he has done. He has
Man United being Man United paid stupid money. Yeah, but international football's slow.
Exactly. But now is not the past. Now he doesn't even play. He doesn't play for his club. How can he pick the guy? He's not match sharp. He's not switched on. He's not playing every week. And that foot that he stuck out for the young goal just shows you it was just a lackluster stick your foot out. There was nothing on it. There was no direction. It was just stick your foot out. Yeah, stuck his foot out, and there you go. That's because he's not playing every week. That's why.
But that's like, should Calvin Phillips? We all know what Calvin Phillips can do. Should Calvin Phillips be playing?
No, he shouldn't have played. He shouldn't. No. He's not played enough football to warrant a selection.
You know, and it's disappointing. But it's disappointing because you look at the England team and they've got some quality players for international
football. Great squad.
And they're not squad. And they're looking around going, there's like, you know, you always say you're as strong as your weakest link, and there's a lot of weak links all around who punish them every time they come on the pitch. It's disappointing. Like you're wasting the good time you're gonna have.
Your weakest link with that squad is the manager.
Yeah, and that is the painful part about that entire thing.
That's the weakest link in the England squad is the manager.
You've got Bellingham, and you've got to worry about like who's going to play in your back line. right?
They're having an argument of does Foden start? You know, that's the embarrassment of riches we've got in attacking. It's the defence where we're weak, in my opinion, but we can be a lot stronger than we are.
They don't want to go with. They don't want to. It's one of those things where you want to stick with the old. And
you have,
as I said,
players in defense, man. You can
Tamori, right?
Who's the Brighton kid who played?
You played
Brighton kid who played.
Freaking Lewis Dunk. Like you got
Lewis Dunk, man. He had a good game.
And it's,
you got Rob Holding.
It's not that
I'd rather Lewis Dunk than Harry Maguire, though. I really would rather Lewis Dunk than Harry Maguire all day long.
I think anybody
because he's a better defender.
You can play John Stones at center back. You can put
I just think in international football, right, you can play 3 at the back. I don't think you need 2 centre backs. I think you can play just 3 defenders
against
at the back.
Scotland. Against who was the other team he played? Lithuania. No,
Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Also, the reason why I bring it up also is because you saw exactly what happens when you don't bring in these young players, because the U.S. women did not bring in enough young talent. By the time they got too old, they started bringing them in. It's too late. Now they got to catch up again.
I just think the world's caught up with US women's football.
Huh?
The world spent some money on women's football, whereas the US were years ahead of everyone for a long time. In women's
you know what they did, and they got lazy.
The world's just caught up with it. Yeah.
No, but they got lazy because I can't imagine. Like, think about this: Spain didn't even bring 10 or 12 of their players and still won the World Cup. How is that? Because those players are part of the system. Now, I don't think that's like that in the U.S. And they have what, quadruple the number of players that they could probably bring into the squad. So I think it's just, you have to be.
Is it still bigger than men's football?
Is what?
Men's football final? Is it still bigger than men's football, women's football in America? Because it was for years.
You're talking internationally?
You mean?
Yeah, internationally.
Internationally, we're all way more proud of our women than the men, but
I don't know. I would say, but yeah, I don't know. I bet it's
about this. It's about even. I would say
they got knocked out of the previous World Cup, so that's where So they didn't even play in the one previous to this. So, and the women were winning their second World Cup during that time. So I don't know.
do you guys like the MLS? Is it the similar draft system then from college, or?
I have no idea.
They do, but the best players don't tend to play in college because they will have already gone to Europe in their teams. But Jack Harrison played in.
Yeah, he went the other way, didn't he? Yeah. His mum took him to New York.
But they need to find a way
to go through these results.
Even if it's a 2-league system, like a pro rel where it's not like a full pyramid, because the owners will never go for that in the U.S. But even if there was like a top 20 teams and a bottom 20 teams, and you had a pro rel kind of closed loop thing, like
more Jeopardy.
Don't make money, does it?
More Jeopardy, you mean?
What? Yeah, it's just
have more Jeopardy involved in the league, like a relegation.
Yeah. I would say most MLS fans are probably also follow European football, and I think they would prefer that format. I just think it's the ownership model. You don't really own your team; you own like a share in the league, is what the owners own. That's why it probably won't work in the current structure. But
yeah, it's Americanized.
I can't get into all of that. But fellas, let's go through our predictions for the matches this weekend. Let's see what we have here. That is too tiny. Where do we got it there? There we go. All right. Wolves, Liverpool. I'm going to start off there, and I'm going to say 2-0 Liverpool. Stan?
I'm going to go for a draw. I don't know what the score will be, but I think that it could be a draw just based on Liverpool bitching and moaning all the time about getting these kickoffs after the international.
All right. Gary, you slid in there. What do you...
Which game were you on?
Wolves, Liverpool.
Top.
Liverpool should win this one, but yeah, Liverpool should win this one. I think they've just been playing pretty well. Wolves are struggling, so easy win for Liverpool.
Got a prediction?
Got to me. I'm gonna go 3-0.
3-0. Chris, Liverpool.
We go 1-1 because I don't like predicting Liverpool matches.
There you go.
And we
All
carry
right, Ben.
3-0. And we carry 3-0. I just think
3-0 Wolves.
I think Liverpool. I think Wolves are in trouble this year. I'd like Mark to pick up a point or something, but I just can't see it.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. Liverpool are starting to click. All right, switching up the order a little bit. Here we go. And boom. Aston Villa, Crystal Palace. I am going Villa 3, Palace 2. Ben, you're up next.
2-2.
Desmond.
A Desmond. All right. Jersey Chris.
I don't know. I think this might be one of the best matches this weekend. I'm going to go Villa 3-2. I like Moussa Diaby to score a game winner.
Well, there you go. I said 3-2 as well. All right, Gary.
Yes, it'll be a good game, but it's going to be 2-2. I think that's how good it's going to be. A little back and forth, and but it's going to finish 2-2.
All right, tiebreaker stand. We have 2 2-2s and we have 2 3-2s.
I think Aston Villa are going to snatch it. I think it'll be 2-1, but there may be something controversial that, a penalty that doesn't get given or something like that to block out a goal from somewhere. But I think Villa win 2-1.
All right. Okay, let's go with the next one. This will be Manchester United versus Brighton.
Skip Fulham.
We're not doing Fulham Luton.
Oh,
I think Luton get a point.
Sorry, Fulham Luton 1-1.
I got 1-1.
I feel like this could be one of those games each year that's like 9-0. Fulham.
I see it as Luton have got to pick points up at some point. Not many, but points. You can't go through a season losing every game. It doesn't happen. So I think we get a point.
Stan,
I think Fulham will win this one 2-0.
Gary, you said draw?
No, I kind of agree. At some point, Luton's going to get a win. This might be a time to do it, but both teams, I think, coming in with a loss. So, I'm going to go 1-1 on this one. Even though 1-1. Yep.
That's what I had. All right, Man United, Brighton. I'm going Brighton 2-1. Both teams to score. I think Brighton's a better club.
I think this is 2-2. I think Højlund gets his first for United this game.
He looked good, man. When he came on, he did look very good against Arsenal.
I'm going to go 3-3.
I think Manchester United are going to get humbled. I think Man U are going to get humbled, much in the same way.
So this is the 9-0. This is the 9-0.
The next one?
I think Brighton.
Brighton winning 9-0 United.
I think it'd probably be 3-1 to Brighton.
We'd have to do like an online overnight party if that happens.
All right, Spurs, Blunts. Sorry.
Gary didn't do his.
Oh, Gary.
Oh, yeah, I think Brighton will. I think United's got too much stuff going on drama-wise in the club. It might bring them down a little bit. So the last game and then all the noise. So I think there's a lot of noise in that locker room, and it has those players probably won't be on the pitch, but they'll still be from the end. So yeah, they might get. I think they'll get surprised, and Brighton loves to do this, and they could do it. They do love to score. So, yeah, I'm Brighton 4-2.
Question: Is the butcher from Amsterdam? Is he fit to play?
Yeah, he's totally fine.
Oh, okay.
He wasn't injured in the Arsenal match at all.
That's right. Yes, of course. He just didn't edge. He just had enough, didn't he?
Yeah, he was just, I'm done. I'm done.
I'm done with this shit. Yeah,
Done.
fuck this shit.
Yeah, he played for Argentina.
Yeah.
Isn't he Argentinian?
Who are we talking about?
Is he Lisandro Martinez?
Lisandro Martinez.
He's Argentinian.
Yeah.
The wee fella.
He played for Argentina.
Brian's the top scoring team in the league right now. So, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Evan Ferguson hat-trick.
Wow. Yeah, with 12. Tottenham is second. That is crazy. With 11.
Big Ange.
Tottenham scoring goals. That's the crazy thing.
We're going to put 5 up on Sheffield.
Yeah, I've gone 5-0.
I think everybody wants to see that. We want to see them come back, not necessarily come back to earth, but just return back to where you've always been.
2-1 to the Blunts. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
That I called it. That's what I'm doing. All right.
Sheffield's on
Moving
a roll.
on from that team.
They got a point last week. They want to build on that. So
Did you say they were on a roll and they got a point?
Yes.
They got a point at Everton.
They got a point. They're on a roll. They're on a streak.
I mean, to be fair, they should have. They
Hamroll.
were peppering the goal. They were hammering the goal. They really should have won that match.
Yeah,
against
Sheffield
Everton.
United are getting battered, I think, this weekend. Unfortunately, but I think
Yeah,
they're
I
going
think
to
it's
get
a 5-0.
No. Well, here's the thing, Stan. You got to worry about this is that this is the last match before they play us at home, Tottenham. So do we want them to win really big before they come to the Emirates, or do we want them to lose?
I really don't think Sheffield United are going to be able to give them anything. And Spurs, are that Big Ange, they seem to be doing, playing in a revitalised way. I just don't think Sheffield United got a chance in this one.
You always want to be a team's first loss. So why not it be Arsenal? Why not Arsenal beat that team next?
So let them beat Sheffield United. Okay, I hear you. All right, can West Ham beat Manchester City?
No.
No. Sorry, Gino, but no.
Sorry.
What about a draw?
No.
No.
I'm going 1-0 Man City. It's either 1-0 or like 16-0.
You can't control the robot. I mean, the robot, the Terminator, he keeps coming, man. No matter what you do, he keeps coming.
Tesla.
So.
The Terminator.
I'll be back, basically. So, yeah. No,
All right, Newcastle going to beat Brentford?
Yes, please. I think so.
Desmond.
I think Brentford spoils Newcastle's season here. 1-0 Brentford.
Ooh.
My boy
No, I think this is when Newcastle come back. They bounce back.
Wisa from The Wire.
I like them both. I'm telling you, I want if we lose Salah next year, Mbuemo would be my pick at left-footed right wing. I would take him in a heartbeat.
So if you believe in trends, Brentford, Newcastle's given up in the last 3 games has scored on 1 goal against City, 2 against Liverpool, and then 3 against Brighton. So if we're going to continue that trend, 4.
What time zone are these in? Because
this is
it don't make sense.
UK time.
This is John's Romanian time zone.
Romania, because 14:30. First of all, they start at 7 in the morning for us. Why 14:30?
I'm thinking we got kick off at 5.
Yeah, it's 12:30. 12:30 is a Newcastle match.
It's got to be Romanian time.
Yeah.
No, but Wolves Liverpool is at 7:30 in the morning.
Yep, 7:30.
So there's 7 hours off. Yeah.
Sounds about 7. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, Wisa, you can't forget about Lil Omar Wisa over on
Oh
Brentford.
man, yeah.
He looks just like that dude. All right,
A bit like
Bournemouth Chelsea.
0-0.
Yeah, I want some more pain for Chelsea. So
Solanke gets a goal. Solanke's gonna get a goal.
This is going to be one of those annoying matches where I think Bournemouth is actually up like 2-0 early.
Billing.
And then Chelsea
Billing
gets
will have
3.
one.
Philip Billing.
Yeah.
Philip
He'll
Billing.
never go.
Philip Billing.
I went to school with a kid called Philip Billing.
He's a lively player, though, isn't he, Billing? He is lively. At home, Chelsea on the road. Should be feeling like pretty. I think if a good manager give the right team talk, he'd be telling this is the time to take them, boys.
Yeah,
I kind of like that
Pochettino's
Bournemouth
balling.
squad. I think they've done a good job.
Pochettino's saying that he has enough money. He's more money. Madness. Pochettino wants more money.
All right, so we're going with Bournemouth on this.
No, 3-2 Chelsea.
You're all
I don't
dreaming.
see 3 goals there.
I want madness.
I'm 0-0.
Yeah.
I'm saying 1-0 Bournemouth.
As much as I'd like chatted all that up, I'm not putting my cash on it. Do you know what I mean? Not opening my wallet on it.
I know the way my bets go, so I'm gonna bet on Chelsea.
Yeah,
because my bets don't ever win. So I'll bet on Chelsea because I want them to lose, and it's worth the dollar bet to me. So I make money every week on Man City. I bet that they'll win, hoping that my method works, and it doesn't work. So
stop wasting your money, please.
Nah, Everton, Arsenal.
Arsenal needs to break that break that trend. Let's get all 3 points this time. Arsenal wins. It's going to be painful. 3-2 is what I'm thinking, just because we struggle there. But I think 3-1 we're up, and then they get one back and put a little pressure on us. But we're too far ahead, and there's not enough time left on the clock.
Yeah.
Remember what Chris said earlier about not wanting to talk about when it was like Liverpool Wolves? I'm in that kind of camp when it comes to Arsenal and calling scores. Because
I wish I had that power. I wish I had that power. I don't think I have that power.
Yeah, but Gary,
I'll do it for you then, Stan. I'm going.
Hold on. That Kudu, all right? We've not won there since 2016. That's the thing.
True.
Not won at Everton since 2016. So
got to win sometime. I'm going to go 7-0 Arsenal and Nketiah to get 4.
Nketiah with 4.
I love you. That'd be so good.
Let's do it, Ben.
And then that'll out-trump Tottenham's 5-0 for next week. So there you go. Win-win-win.
There you
I remember last season.
If Nketiah gets 4, he'll be leading the league in goals. That'd be ridiculous.
Let's do it.
No, because Alan's going to get another hat trick at West Ham.
Yeah.
So.
4-1 Arsenal.
And the kid at Brighton's going to get a hat trick against United. So.
Oh.
And Son's going to get another one against Sheffield United as well. So
Jesus, yeah, this could all happen. We could be looking at a 40-goal race here.
We finished second last season, but we couldn't do Everton. Couldn't believe that, man.
No shit.
That was last season, man. Don't believe in hoodoos. Have faith in your team.
I'm going to say that Arsenal go up 2 goals, and in about the 80th minute or so, we give up a goal, and we're like, oh, wait a minute. And then we score a goal. So now it's 3-1. And then we give up another goal with the last kick of the game, just to give Everton some stupid amount of confidence that they're going to stay up the rest of the year. They'll stay up because they were on us. They had us. Those fucking bastards.
Is there such a thing as
Arsenal.
I know there's a new manager bounce, but is there such a thing as a new ownership takeover bounce?
We'll see.
Taken over, isn't they?
The media will make that up just because they need to see drama. They want to see stress again. So you just created it right here, right now. The new owner bounce is in effect right now.
And then they'll get 15-point deduction, and then that'll disappear.
Well, let's get to the most popular match of the week on a Monday night. Monday Night Football. We bring you from Nottingham Forest, Burnley. Will anybody watch this? No.
I predict eyes
Well,
bleeding.
paternity leave. I'll watch it.
I guess this is because there's Champions League and Europa League. I guess like they can't have a lot of these teams playing in on Monday. Why is there a Monday night match?
Because we need to see Taiwo Awaniwi. I don't know his name. Score a
Awanye.
goal. Awanye.
I really don't give a shit
And
about this.
Alonga as well.
I would watch
Alonga
it if it's
is doing fantastic.
Everybody wants to see Burnley give up 3+ goals for the 4th straight game. That's all. That's why it's on the Monday night. It's the betting. It's the easy bet. That's what they do. They give up 3 goals.
Speaking of Alanga,
Burnley should play JJ Watt.
Speaking of Alanga, I can't believe Man U sold him. That is one player they should have kept. I think he's a good player.
Why would they sell him? He's a firecracker every time he came off the bench.
Yes. And when we played against them and we done our pre-show, he was the one name that I pulled out. I said, that's a player that could cause us a bit of a problem.
Maybe he can fulfill his potential now.
Did it. Never sold him.
Yeah. Had they started Awanye and Alonga, we would have been in trouble that match. Yeah. They look very good together. So I'm going with Nottingham Forest.
What about the Milan derby this weekend?
Milan derby. I'm going to go with Milan.
That's AC Milan. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. You're trying to be...
I don't know anything about that Italian football stuff. Who are you going with? Well, thank you guys for being on the show. Don't forget, somebody clicked this. Was that me? Oh, I did that. Don't forget to check out Ben with Mr. Tom on the We All Love Leeds podcast, video show podcast. That's a terrible introduction. This week, Sunday, 9 p.m. UK time, 4 p.m. Eastern time, they will be doing the match review of Millwall versus Leeds United. Ben, thank you so much for being on the show. Anything you want to say about your show?
Pleasure as always. Yeah, hopefully Leeds will win, and it'll be a happy show. But it's Millwall, isn't it? And do you like what I did with the badge?
Which one?
Lionesses?
The Millwall. Yes.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Yeah.
But no, pleasure as always, Lolo.
Nowadays. Thank you for being here, Ben. And Gary, don't forget to check out Gary on the trip Mondays at 7:30 and the road trip match day Saturdays at 4 p.m. Gary.
Yes, sir. Thanks for everybody for joining us. Yeah, you'll see us tomorrow chatting. We'll just be talking about all the games that are going on, even games out in the Shanghai Premier League. Everywhere we go with the football. So check us out tomorrow, 4 p.m. And on Monday, we'll just recap Arsenal and anything else that's going on. So thanks for the support. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Well, thank you, Chris, as well for joining us, and congratulations on your newborn. Yes. And Stan, thank you for joining us from the helicopter. I know it gets loud there, but it looks comfy at least.
Quick plug as well. Tomorrow afternoon on the Fools Nelson podcast, myself, Mr. Tom, Tony Turner, maybe Gary, and some of the other lads will be watching. Ben, if you're going to join, good. We're going to be watching Tony's pick, and we're going to be doing a watch along of WrestleMania 12, which is actually a good WrestleMania.
All right.
And that will be at 4 p.m. Eastern time, wherever that is in the UK,
all right.
Anywhere else.
Awesome, cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you everybody for joining us in the comments section and all that stuff. But much love to y'all. And if you want to join us, we will be backstage for a little while chit-chatting. Here is the link. It is going out now. Feel free to click on that. First 10 people will be able to chill out with us backstage. Otherwise, much love to you guys. I hope all your teams lose except for Gary and Stan's. And I guess Ben's, because go Leeds United. But
everybody would like to see. Everybody like to wake up Saturday morning laughing. Chris, I'm sorry, laughing at your team, but you never do it. So
do it backstage.